All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch PIT Championships. Misfits moving on to the losers bracket, round number 3, and now we're going to see who's going to be facing off against them. And it's going to be Ninjas in Pajamas facing off against Team Dignitas. Dignitas, we did see earlier on today. They had that postponed match taking place on earlier. I am Jamerson, joined once again by Herix. Herix, how are you doing?
Definitely looking good right now. I mean, really excited to see Dignitas versus Ninja Pajamas. I mean, I'm personally really excited to see Ninjas in Pajamas. I think that they're a pretty strong team in the EU bracket here, and I think they're going to be the team to move on here. That's my prediction at the moment. I think they're going to be able to take this 2-0-2-1 and move through. And Dignitas still, I mean, they did look pretty solid against Laser Kittens. They had a couple of moments where they were coming up a little bit short, but we'll have to see if Ninjas in Pajamas can come through. And this first map is going to be on Lijiang Tower. We want to go ahead and call that we're ready so that we can get into the match as soon as humanly possible here. Again, we don't want to be giving any delays at all. We want to jump in as soon as we can, and this is basically just dependent on as soon as the teams get ready for you guys. So we are going to be jumping in. Again, Lijiang Tower going to be the first map here between these two teams, and I'm definitely looking to see what Ninjas in Pajamas wants to do. Of course, we saw them running a lot of tanks in the past, and we'll have to see if they want to pull that out once again with the new Lucio changes as well.
Yep. So we're already pretty much way ahead of schedule. I think like an hour ahead of schedule at this point.
Oh, yeah.
As we are into our third match of the day.
Might actually be more than that. Because we're into what is our second match of the day around the same time that we would be starting the first one. So technically, we're about an hour and a half ahead of schedule at the moment.
And that's with fitting in an extra match too. But you know, thanks to these teams being on top of it, getting everyone in, we've even been getting all the teams in fairly quickly in between the matches. So yeah, here we are. We're going to be on Control Tower for our first map of Lijiang here between Dignitas and Ninjas in Pajamas. Currently, as the teams are hovering over heroes, they still have plenty of time to actually pick. But I don't know if Toxic is actually going to go with this Pharah.
I think he might. I mean, on this particular map, it's kind of iffy. I mean, it can be at least because of the fact that you just don't have as much room to work with, but we'll have to see. We don't see a soldier coming out from Ninjas in Pajamas as they're putting Zappies actually on the Tracer. So he's going to make that swap actually. And he's going to be going over to the Zarya. And now they do have that 2-2-2 with Vaneless actually going over to that Zenyatta. And of course that tank strat coming out from Ninjas in Pajamas probably as expected there.
Yeah, and so both teams meeting on the high ground. Fraggy taking a very, very aggressive positioning here. But we do have Bromos on that Tracer trying to wrap around to the backside, but Froggy pushing forward, gets that first kill onto Vaneless. Himsy coming on in. It's going to be a 3-for-2 trade in favor of NIP right now as Fraggy is just able to freely swing on the majority of Dignitas, and Himsy landing a nice shot onto WhatsApp and cleaning up. Bromos does answer back, but he's trying to focus on Himsy with a great pulse bomb. He's keeping this alive right now.
Oh, and he's in a duel now, but does have the addition of that Harmony Orb. And now Bromas somehow not only able to find that pick, but in turn, he's able to get the secured point as well. Ninjas in Pajamas trying to jump back on, and because of Bromas making those plays there, he is the hero and the savior. They get control of the point first.
All right, so already about 10% on the board for Dignitas here. Once again, that high ground control coming out from NIP as they push forward with that triple tank composition. Fraggy swinging onto Toxican right now. Hook doesn't quite connect by Himsy. Dragon Blade comes out from Linkster, and he's going to be able to get that kill with the help of What7 onto Zappe, and now they are starting to clean up once again on Dignitas.
Dignitas able to find those kills, and Bromas being a big part of that on this Tracer, definitely becoming an issue for Ninjas in Pajamas here as they have fallen 35% behind now. And Bromas coming alive with that second pulse bomb at the ready pretty soon here as he finds some early damage into Zavis, forcing him back as well. And we'll have to see how Ninjas in Pajamas wants to approach this next one as they do have a couple of options for the ultimates. Zupa getting kind of close to that nano boost as well.
What 7? He was the recipient of that pulse bomb, but immediately he does go ahead and use that primal rage. Huge earth shatter, but unfortunately everyone was on the high ground, making it very difficult for this NIP squad to actually try to get any damage off. Boop almost comes out onto Evoke. He will be able to survive for now. No, he actually falls to his death. Tranquility comes on. Now it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade so far. Man advantage still in favor of NIP as Mafu is the recipient of that nano boost. Now he does push forward, gets the kill onto Valence. They will be able to clean that up and finally swap it off, but Dignitas already getting 71%.
Finally, the swap happening for Ninjas of Pyjamas and pushing forward. They need to get aggressive because they need to win a lot of fights here to actually control this one. They could afford to lose one single fight, but I think they want to win at least 2 before that actually happens, so they can be in a great position to come back, make a re-entry, and I would give away that second fight completely and just lose nothing, but we'll have to see. We've Graviton coming out. Ninja Pyjamas going to be losing Mafu very early on, and they're trying to battle back here. They do find the kill onto Mafu. That's going to be great. Or sorry, the kill onto Toxic, and that's going to be great as Pulse Bomb comes up for Zapis, and he's going to be trying to make a play much like Bromas did already. And Evoke jumping onto the point here, trying to establish control, going to be pushed off here as Zapis comes over and makes that rotation as well. And Evoke falls, and that's going to be Ninjas of Pyjamas holding on once again here, but not with a lot of options at their disposal to hang on with. And Bromas just sneaking around the side here, looking for some early damage onto Hemsy. The Discord is on him, so he can get some ult charge off of this, and not only that, but also a potential pick if he did get aggressive there, but decided not to here. And both teams back on the point here, getting ready for the next fight.
They do have that Graviton Pulse Bomb combo to work with. There's no support ultimates on the side of Dignitas to try and actually stop that, but Mafu going down is going to take that out of the equation. Himsy is able to get 1 kill onto the Evoke, but now Vanless pushing forward with that Transcendence as the 6 does come out. They're going to be able to complete that kill onto Himsy. Now they're trying their best to keep this alive. Kindle falling with Zapis, though. We'll go ahead and flip it on over, but NIP were able to secure 85% before it got flipped.
That's a great spot to be at. Now they have to come through, and Vaneless actually, with the Transcendence that was popped out, they have really no options. I mean, they have What 7 with the Primal Rage, but he could get shut down by a single Sleep Dart if Zupa actually goes ahead and finds that that nice accuracy on that one. Graviton coming out, they should be able to find a kill inside of it, but Zupa actually getting contested is going to be able to shut down that Winston a little bit, but he's going to Primal Rage. Doesn't have, oh yeah, does have the Sleep Dart actually, but Ninjas of Pyjamas already finding so many kills, looking to try to win this one out, and that's going to be some great healing coming out once again from the Lucio as Soundberry getting very close. They are going to be able to get one last fight, I think, before this is over, but they still just don't have any options here. Literally no ults, Jameson, for them to jump onto this, and it's going to be a desperate attempt to get back onto the point to begin with, if they're even able to make it.
Yeah, there's an Earth Shatter along with a Whole Hog and Sound Barrier about to come on out. So all the tools for NIP to try and close this out. Here comes the Sound Barrier. It's defensive. Linkster immediately gets shut down by that Earth Shatter coming out from Fraggy, and 2 kills already going on in favor of NIP. Make that a 4th as Fraggy just freely swinging on everyone. They're trying to haphazardly jump onto the point. Now it's all down to What 7, but he gets cleaned up by Kindle, and that's going to be NIP taking control tower.
So battling back from a deficit of over 70%, Ninjas of Pyjama is able to come back, and Zappa is going to go ahead and end this one in a little bit of fireworks under his feet. And now moving on to this second map, Ninjas of Pyjama is already up 1-0 here. And again, I kind of imagined them to take this one over Dignitas, but still very, very close matchup as Bromas has definitely made some huge plays. I mean, we saw him holding out in a 1v2 scenario as well, and just long enough actually for Vaneless to come over, give him that Harmony Orb for the rest of the team to kind of pull up and establish, basically assert their dominance there. But nonetheless, we're now moving into this second map here, and it is going to be on Garden, and now we're going to be seeing Toxicin once again onto this Zarya, and Zappi's actually going over to the Pharah as they pull out a 2-2-2 strat, utilizing Hemsy again on that Roadhog, and Fraggy actually on the D.Va here.
Alright, we do have What 7 jumping into the back line here, trying to focus on the supports with the help of Linkster. They will be able to take out Kindle, but What 7 falls for his efforts. But already, Dignitas, the opening volley going largely in their favor, cleaning everyone up. Froggy's going to be the final person to go down, and Dignitas with the very strong team fight there.
Bromas has been so effective in this matchup so far. I mean, look at this. He's got 75%. He was able to find a lot of kills. I mean, Toxicin definitely helped out, but it was mostly Bromas doing a lot of the damage there. We saw What 7 establishing himself pretty early on, but that gave them all the space to work with. And that's why we saw Dignitas coming ahead a little bit there. And now we'll have to see if maybe Ninjas of Pyjamas can battle back into this one a little bit sooner than what we saw last time. Fraggy going to be taken out of the mech very early on. You have to wonder why they even made that play. I mean, he was completely disjointed from the rest of the team. Pulse Bomb going out onto Himsy. That's going to be an easy kill. And again, Dignitas going to be able to just hold this one out. Very, very efficient hold. But I think it mostly just came down to the fact that Ninjas of Pyjamas was just all over the place. I mean, that was a very weird attack. It didn't look good at all from them.
Yeah, Fraggy now has swapped off onto the Reinhardt here. I don't know if I completely agree with that decision, swapping back onto that. So they're going to go ahead and approach from the right-hand side from that white room, as we do have the rotations coming out on the side of Dignitas. Fraggy already has the Orb of Discord on him, has to be careful as he tries to push forward. What7 trying to dish out any damage. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Linkster, but immediately gets taken out of the equation. Baneless, though, does straight on back, taking out Fraggy, and now the Primal Rage does come on out, but here comes the Nano Boost onto Mafu right now. He doesn't have the visor, but he doesn't need it, as he's already gotten 2 kills with it.
And Mafu getting taken out pretty low. It does put his healing field down before he dies off, but it's going to be Toxican. Not only able to help What7 find that kill, but with that huge energy reserve that he has available for him, is able to just murder everybody else on the point. And now Dignitas looking to make a 100-0 hold here as Ninja Pyjamas, without too much available to themselves, and going into both the Graviton Surge and the Transcendence. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to steal this one away here. It definitely looks like this is going to be a 100-0 for Dignitas.
They're making that same approach on the side of NIP as they push forward right here. Pulse Bomb going wide, will not be able to connect. Fraggy even tries to go for that charge, but now he is low. Tactical Visor is going to be used by Mafu, but immediately Baneless answers in kind with that Transcendence. It's going to be Toxic going to clean them up. Here comes the Graviton Surge, only connects onto Himsy, but Baneless will be able to finish off that kill. Now huge man advantage in favor of Dignitas. They are dropping a little bit low, but for the most part they are staying healthy here. Zop is trying his best to keep this alive with the help of Kindle, but now it's all just down to Kindle. He will fall to Toxic, and that's going to be Dignitas answering right on back. The dominant performance here on Garden.
Very, very dominant indeed. 100-0 now for Dignitas on the boards. And now moving into the last map on Lijiang Tower, it is going to be Night Market. And we will see Dignitas trying to carry that momentum into this next map here. Certainly, again, I think Bromas definitely had a fantastic performance with Toxican in kind as well. Now, a couple of swaps coming out on the side of NIP, as Himsy actually going to be going over to the Soldiers. Zoppy's going back over to the Tracer. We'll have to see if this is going to be the difference maker, actually, for NIP, as they're looking to steal this one away. I mean, certainly Dignitas looking pretty strong here on King of the Hill, at least here on Lijiang Tower. And Bromas getting aggressive here, going with that triple blink just right into the faces of NIP, getting some early damage off here as NIP going over to the point. Looks like they're going to try to establish themselves on the point itself, as What7 already with a kill on Zupe there.
Yeah, Dignitas has been doing this rinse and repeat over and over again. What7 and Linkster, just the Bash brothers there, cleaning them up, no problem whatsoever. Point hasn't even unlocked yet. There's still another 5 seconds.
That dive is just so strong. NIP unable to deal with that at all. And that's kind of become a problem for them, I think, a little bit, as it's still, I mean, the dive is still effective. It's still a very efficient use of the composition. And we do see Linkster coming through with that kill onto Himsy, and NIP now forced to kind of try to either find some kills with a 5v6 and push the momentum forward with the healing, but we'll have to see Discord out on Fraggy, and he's going to be forced to turn his shield around as Bromas comes back around on the side, and that should be an easy cleanup here, as we do see Dragon Blade coming out from Linkster, and again looking for some more kills. It's just very easy for Dignitas. They make this look so differently than how I anticipated it looking.
Yeah, at this point, Linkster just playing on a razor's edge there. He will be able to back out and get to the safety of his team and heal up. Already 40% on the board for Dignitas, and they're on great track at this point to get that 100-0. Once again, Bromas has that pulse bomb at the ready, but Baneless, it's going to be that support ulti coming in. That is going to be huge for Dignitas.
We will see Himsy trying to get that tac visor up. Zupe already with an option here. Zop is starting things off with a nice kill on Linkster. That's going to be very pivotal for them. Fraggy getting down kind of low. Transcendence forced out actually from Baneless, as the rest of the team is pushing forward, and Bromas looking for some kills himself, and that's going to push NIP back, despite the fact that they had a very nice pick to start things off, and that's the Lucio falling as well. And man, there's a very, very, very strong start here for Dignitas, as they're at 75% already here, Jamerson.
Yeah, and the nano boost was committed by Zeppe there as the sound barrier does come on out. 80% on the board. They're pushing forward. Bromas cleaning up with that Tracer. He's pushed up all the way into their spawn. Will finally back out as Toxican does get that kill onto Fraggy.
The inability to deal with Bromas is becoming a huge issue. I mean, the dive as a whole is a very big problem for them. They're unable to deal with Linkser a lot of times as well, but I think Bromas is a huge issue. And we do see the Graviton coming out. Pulse Bomb going to be dropped as well as they find that kill. Very, very easy here for Dignitas. We do see the point swapping favor now as Lucio made it over, and NIP looking to try to get back on there. He forces the solo sound barrier out, and he's going to be likely losing control of that. It is going to go for an overtime as everybody's trying to force their way back onto the point, and it should tick down in time here as it is going to be Dignitas making the hold, and that's going to be 2-1 in favor of Dignitas as the last two maps have gone very convincingly in their favor.
All right, and so we'll see where we go for round number 4 here on Lijiang Towers, and it looks like we are going back to Garden.
So this map is going to be kind of interesting, as this is the one that swapped, where Dignitas basically got a lot of their momentum and started really having a commanding lead. They had that 100-0, and we'll have to see if maybe we'll see some swaps happening with NIP trying to reestablish control here. I mean, this is map point right now. They need to be able to come back into this one to send it to game 5 to be able to have a chance at keeping their getting a lead here, starting things off. But nonetheless here, Himsy going to be on the Roadhog, Mafu actually going to be on the Soldier as Zappies is back on the Tracer. They feel a lot better on the Tracer, I think, but still, I mean, they have to be able to deal with Bromas and Linkser. They've just been too much of an issue so far, and already we're seeing Mafu getting taken down pretty low. Zop is going to be removed from the game here by a vote.
He does answer in kind, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but now they all jump onto Fraggy. 3v1, take him out immediately. The point has unlocked, and once again, Dignitas is in position. Great hook coming out from Himsy to take out Linkser.
How did he know? He just threw that hook through the doorway, just basically guessed. Or maybe he was just seeing my POV, but look, he's just all over the place with these crazy hooks, but still gonna be eliminated there as Lucio is just coming through as the hero a little bit. Toxican gonna be taken down pretty low. Does have 100 energy though, so certainly could keep his life up here, but is going to be taken out. Going to be the creator of his own demise. And now we will see a little bit of a Tracer duel here. Lynx are going to be able to support this a little bit, but misses his dash there. Zappy's forced off, but going to be able to get away with his life. And now Dignitas again with an early lead here, starting this thing off. And Lynx are getting pretty close to this Dragon Blade. Is going to have to contest this Nano Visor, so we might see NIP with an ability to swap this in their favor here, coming out from White Room now.
I just hope Linkser actually holds on to that Dragon Blade there, but as soon as he pops it, I'm imagining NIP are going to go ahead and use that Nano Visor themselves to counter it, but I don't think they're going to actually need it. They're going to push forward with that. The Nano Visor has come out, but that's the sound barrier coming out from Evoke, eating up the large majority of that damage there. Now Mafu caught out in the middle of the entirety of Dignitas. He gets cleaned up. But still, Fraggy with that Reinhardt putting in work, just swinging on the entirety of Dignitas here. He goes for the charge, isn't going to connect it. It's going to be the Primal Rage coming out from 1-7, trying to keep this point alive. They try to delay it for as long as possible. He does get the kill onto Zuppe right now, goes back into contest, but Zappis will clean that up. Now it's Linkser's opportunity, trying to delay for as long as possible. Deflect is now down. He's still in the middle of all of them. He will go down, but Dignitas have already secured 77%.
Definitely looking very solid now, but they have a lot of, I mean, Ninjas has an opportunity here to hold this one out for the remainder. I mean, they have good ult control so far. They've only used 2 so far in this game, but I mean, that's because they've been very slow paced in terms of getting them up. They haven't been able to find the same amount of kills. Been very much on the lesser lethal side there, but nonetheless, we do see a nice Earthshatter coming out, but he trades his life as Fraggy just jumps off the point, and Mafu going to be pushed off as well. Still, though, Dignitas on this point right now. They have Evoke on here, and he's already found a couple of kills for the team and looking to make another, and that's going to be Zappis dying off, and Dignitas once again regaining control. Very weird fight again happening from NIP with Fraggy getting a decent Earthshatter off the Graviton and then just eliminating his own life off someone who was already at 30% HP. So, I don't know, kind of a strange fight actually in that last one.
Yeah, so this is going to be the last opportunity to try and flip the point once again, but Lynx is jumping right into the back line. He's got that Dragon Blade. He's even got the projected barrier, but Himsy shuts it down with a great hook. Now we have the Primal Rage coming up from what, 7 here. He's pushing them back, found one kill onto Fraggy, finds a second onto Himsy, but during the meantime, the entirety of his team just falling to the rest of NIP here, and they are going to be able to clean up and flip the point on back.
But now they need a lot of options. I mean, Fraggy did manage to get his Earthshatter back up and going, and that's going to be big for them, but they really need a lot more than that. They're going to need, like, the Nano Visor definitely going into it. They're going to need to be able to have something to combat when the Transcendence comes out as well, and that's going to be basically the Sound Barrier relied on, or maybe a big pulse bomb from Zappius, and he gets 2 there to start things off. So really, this is a great position to be in here as they find those nice picks, sending them back. So now the next fight is going to occur around 75–80%, and they only have to win that one fight more than likely if they want to be able to close this one out. So Mafu definitely going to want to get the Tac Visor up, and does indeed manage to get that. Zupe needs to try to get his Nano Visor, or Nano Boost, but that's not going to happen. And Mafu actually taken out. This is looking good for Dignitas to maybe come back in. Bromas and Linkser need to make some plays. What 7 going to be eliminated here, but it's still, they have these DPS on the point, and Sound Barrier coming out as well. Himsy, if he lands this hook, is going to be able to hold on, but that's not going to be the case. Dignitas looks like they're going to be able to make the play, and they flip the point, and no one really that near. Mafu looking for an opportunity to Tac Visor, but does get discorded, and now Linkster coming alive, getting the Dragon Blade out. Transcendence coming out as well. Overtime ticking, and it looks like Dignitas should be able to take this one here, Jamerson.
Yeah, in that last team fight, even though Mafu had that tactical visor there, immediately what 7 and Linkser, they doesn't afraid of anything, and they jumped right on top of him just to get that out of the way. And that was the only ultimate for them to really work with towards the end there. And yeah, Linkser really was a huge part of this victory against NIP here.
Doesn't afraid of anything indeed, man. But none.
It's an old meme, but it checks out, man.
But we will see Dignitas coming through. 1-0 advantage for them in the set now, and looking for NIP to pick the next map. And so far, I mean, I'm not sure what they want to go for here. I mean, NIP was able to take it against Singularity, and they did pretty well actually on Lijiang Tower in the past. So maybe they'll go over to Route 66 or King's Row. I imagine it'll be one of those two. Okay, so King's Row is going to come through as Fraggy goes ahead and calls that one. But nonetheless, going into this next one, I think NIP definitely have a better shot at King's Row. So I think this will be good for them to battle back. I think we're going to see a Game 3. And I already did say that I predicted Ninjas and Pyjamas to take this one. But we'll have to see if this does go in favor of NIP, what Dignitas wants to pull out for that third map. But of course, Dignitas could still finish this one out. They looked pretty solid on King's Row against their last matchup, which of course was against Laser Kittens. But Laser Kittens fell short on the defensive side a lot, and Dignitas didn't really have a solid defense themselves. So we'll have to see if maybe Dignitas wants to pull out that same Hanzo strat, and if Ninjas and Pyjamas will fall for it or not. We'll have to see. I think we're just waiting on sides to be chosen here, and for someone to come back from being AFK, and then we'll be right into that second match again. You guys are watching the EU playoffs. This is the lower bracket. We're trying to determine, if we look at the standings right now, who's going to be battling Misfits there, and then that will be our last match of the day to see who goes into that lower bracket finals to take on the loser of Movistar Riders versus E United, which will occur tomorrow. Both of those matches actually occurring tomorrow, and then on Friday, of course, that grand final. So things getting kind of close here, Jamerson. I think I mean, by the end of today, we'll have a pretty good vision of what's to be expected moving on to these final 2 days, but certainly some really good matches so far here.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Just a little worried as we move on to King's Row, because I've already, my game's crashed twice on King's Row now, but I have lowered the settings, so hopefully, you know, we'll have no hiccups whatsoever. But you've been doing a fantastic job solo casting when I do drop, and so I just wanna thank you there.
Yeah, luckily it's not been too big of a deal because you've been able to come back pretty quick. And again, we've had the option to pause, but we don't want to take it. Obviously, I mean, with the two teams wanting to compete, you know, we definitely want to make sure that they continue the competition. That's the most important thing, I think. to make sure that the teams aren't, you know, we don't want it to seem like there's like any kind of tactical pauses or something that might affect the team's performances. So again, just for the competitive integrity of the match, we want to make sure that we play these things out. And given the fact that you've been able to come back pretty quick, it hasn't been too much of an issue at all. But yeah, something's going on with your computer in Kings Row at the moment. We'll have to figure that out after the broadcast to make sure it doesn't happen going forward. But nonetheless, it shouldn't be an issue. As long as I'm okay, the broadcast stays on, and that's the most important thing here to make sure that everybody is able to watch the matches.
I think it might be something to do with the Omnic Uprising at this point, the new event. I don't know if they've really changed this map, but I've never had an issue with Kings Row actually crashing before. Doesn't look like they've made any real changes to it, but hey, we are on to Kings Row here. Currently, Dignitas up 1-0, and they're trying to secure their spot. Moving forward in the lower bracket here, coming out on the defensive end, they are going to be running that triple tank on the side of Dignitas here. They do have Toxican once again on the Zarya. Linkster picking up the Roadhog, and What7 of course on that Reinhardt, and Bromas is going to be rounding out that comp with Soldier 76 here. He hasn't prepared himself to take that high ground quite yet, but he still has plenty of time here.
So it's very possible actually that we could potentially see Zapis on the Hanzo. We'll have to see if he wants to make the swap. If he's, I mean, there's a couple options here. He could make the swap very early on, or he could stay on it, or he could just go for an opening play with it and just swap very soon after. Looks like he is going to jump down, so they are going to be going for that same combo that we saw Dignitas running earlier with this Hanzo, and we'll have to see what they can make of it. Obviously, Linkster was able to perform alongside Toxican there with that combination, and they actually made a great attack of it, but a nice hook starting off. And they find that quick elimination onto What7, and that's the Reinhardt taken down, and Toxican taken down pretty low, so once the shield goes out, he could be eliminated pretty easily, and a nice shot from the arrow coming out as well with a nice elimination. This is going to be an easy attack here for Ninjas of Pyjamas.
Yeah, Baneless is going to actually go down there along with the Vogue. They're going to be the final members. It doesn't look like there's going to be an opportunity for the defense to try and get back on here. One tick already going on over, and they're just regrouping in the streets on the side of Dignitas.
Zapis already going forward just to try to get some more information. Already a nice kill onto Bromas. That's going to give them a nice little bit of a buffer there to get that payload through the archway, as they're certainly going to want Bromas in that next fight. So they back up, and it is going to be Evoke more than likely pulling back as well to try to get him the speed he needs to get back over to the point as soon as possible. So they want to get back into this as quickly as they can. And with Bromas sprinting back over, they should be able to get there pretty quick. But again, looking at the positioning here, we are seeing the payload already moving through this archway. So likely it's going to be happening. This fight is going to be happening as the payload reaches that corner right in front of the bar there. And that's going to be a pretty interesting fight here, as Fraggy getting kind of low. Nice healing coming out from Zupe, actually. Nano boost at the ready here for him.
Yeah, it's going to go on to Frag, and he immediately charges forward. He almost catches out that Soldier 76. What7 goes for that charge, but it's way too wide. Zappos will be able to clean him up, but Toxican now, he's pushing forward. He's got a kill already onto Fraggy. He had that nano boost going out. He's just so high charge. He's just cleaning up easily, but Himsy's trying to answer on back. Mafu is just going to go ahead and reset there, as Himsy is trying his best to find any final kills here, and that might be a crucial one onto Linkster.
So Dignitas pull ahead a little bit, but I mean, even though they do kind of pull a little bit ahead, it was kind of even, so they're forcing themselves back. They don't want to be staggered. If the attack actually works out and they are able to make those couple of kills happen, NIP would be able to easily move their way through that second checkpoint. So Dignitas very intelligently pulls back, says we don't want to take this gamble. We do see the hammer down coming out as Fraggy goes through with that Earth Shatter. And he's looking for some kills himself. A nice sleep dart onto What7. Going to be able to secure that sleep, but he is going to be saved. Soundberry coming out. And now we see Mafu coming through. Zappies with an opportunity to go with that Dragon Strike. They find 2 kills with it. And now Zappies getting taken down pretty low by that Tactical Visor. And that should be Ninjas of Pyjamas pushing forward. Himsy with the whole hog, able to find those last 3 kills there as it dies off. Second objective now. 5 minutes. Over 5 minutes here for Ninjas of Pyjamas here.
Great pace being set right now. Zappis landing some crucial shots. Oh my gosh, that scatter shot coming out onto Bromas. And so they'll be able to get it around this bend, no problem. What7 is starting to position more forward, try and contest soon. But we do have Linkster jumping on up with that Winston, forcing Zappis out of position.
But that's okay, because he can always get back up there when he wants to. And he can land some easy damage, and in the meantime, he's just getting shots on someone who's not behind that Reinhardt shield, so he should be able to get some good ult shards off of it, and that's going to be big for him, as he's going to be able to Dragon Strike without... Ooh, a nice shot there coming in, as he should find another one here and take out Toxikin, and that's going to be the kill. He is going to be able to get that Dragon Strike without the Graviton, and that's going to be big because he could just shut down one of the spawns here very, very effectively. Likely going to go to this left side. It gets eaten up by Linkser, though!
Oh, but it's not going to be enough, as 4:11 left on the clock for NIP there to complete out the map in commanding fashion up against Dignitas here. And now it's going to be a real uphill struggle for Dig as they go on to the attacking side. Zappos was just doing so much work. We only got to see that Graviton Dragon Strike combo once, and it was just off of... Actually, everyone's amazing play on the side of NIP. Fraggy doing a really good job of getting the better of what 7 in the Reinhardt battles too. Himsy, of course, on that Roadhog, just an absolute beast. NIP looking stellar so far here.
Now they're going to be on the defensive side coming out, and Linkser right now on the attack is looking like they're going to be going for that same combination with the Hanzo. Definitely liking that, and it's kind of harking back a little bit to a couple metas ago where we saw this a little bit more predominantly on King's Row at least, and it's just so effective on this map because, you know, you have that opportunity to really kind of find some nice picks, and then from there you can just kind of snowball, and on top of that you also have a great option whenever the Graviton is available to be able to just take basically a free fight. It almost secures the fight there as long as you manage it correctly, and it's very safe as well, where you would see like a Pharah or something like that trying to use a barrage into the Graviton. It's very unsafe because the Pharah is in harm's way, floating above, like immobile, so this one is a lot safer, does basically the same damage, is able to find the kills with just as much efficiency, so we'll have to see if Linkser is going to be able to do just that alongside Bromas here on the Zarya. But NIP, of course, obviously know how this strat works. They just showed us how good it could actually be. We'll have to see if maybe they're going to be able to contest it a little bit better than Laser Kittens did in the last series.
Yeah, Linkser had a slow go of it initially when he picked up that Hanzo on King's Row there, but he hasn't found anything quite yet. Tried to go for that scatter arrow, did not quite connect. Fraggy does have to back away as Broma's just getting some free charge off of him right now. But Fire Strike also going to connect onto him, but he's going to get instantly healed up by Zeppe here. Now they are trying to make it around this statue, but a little bit hesitant as they are looking for Toxic to try and get that initial pick or maybe something off of Linkser. Linkser's already at 50% towards his ultimate.
And Linkser looking for a kill off on Zappos, but ooh, a nice hook coming out from Himsy, but that's actually going to be broken by the statue as Zappos forcing himself back up with that recall down now, looking for that health pack. And again, Linkser trying to find some kills here. A nice hook coming out. Toxic going to be able to secure that kill actually as they trade, and now Fraggy getting taken down pretty low. Linkser getting contested in the back, looking to try to take on this Tracer of Zappos, but it's not going to be looking good for him. He hasn't yet to find an arrow onto him. Zappos all over the place. Linkser needs to be able to find a kill here and unable to secure this one as he's locking down the stairway. Does find a hit onto Mafu. Should be able to shut him down a little bit. And they are on the point, looking to establish themselves on it. And does finally come alive. 2 kills here for Linkser. Should be able to make it 3, but misses there. Kind of interesting, but he does find the headshot eventually. And that is going to be the cleanup crew here of Dignitas finally getting control of this point. And Linkser, a little bit inconsistent with the aim there, but nonetheless does finally manage to pull through for the team, finding 3 kills. Actually, I think 4 kills in the end there. And now just under 5 minutes as they are getting ready to push that payload through the archway. Should be able to get it there. And they do have that combination of ults with the Graviton as well as the Dragon Strike for that next fight.
Yeah, and they have almost all of their ultimates at this point. Toxin and Evoke both sitting at 95%, and there's really nothing on the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas. They do have that Earth Shatter. Himsy getting closer and closer to that whole hog. You'll have it very soon. Earth Shatter comes on now from Fraggy though, but a huge Graviton Surge connects onto 4. Links are coming in with a double kill off of that. It's Toxic and helping clean up, but there's only 2 members left on NIP here. It's just down to Zappos now as Mafu falls. He's going to try and delay for as long as he can, and Slippery Tracer will finally go down as he gets swatted by Watt 7.
And they have so many options going into the next fight. I mean, they have both support ults, they have a control, they have 2 control ults, as well as technically a damage one, as well as Toxican should be able to unleash the whole hog. We saw Hemsey pulled this one out in the very same location last time, and that found 3 kills for them to unlock this second point. And maybe Toxican can do just the same, but they're going to have to take down the barrier. Nano Boost going out now onto the Reinhardt. What7 looking to try to create some space. Earthshatter coming out from him. Not going to find all too much, but Hemsey going to be pressured now, looking for a hook to try to shut this whole hog down. He's going to pull one of his own out as he's getting down pretty low, trying to push Toxican back, and Toxican now overextended here, catching himself a little bit out of position, and now Hemsey going to be taken out, as luckily for him, What7 was able to make that rotation, come over, find that kill, as well as Linkster pushing through and finding a lot of damage himself. And now these guys are sitting about 60-70% for that ultimate combination, and a little bit slower of a pace than NIP, but still a very good pace nonetheless, and both sides really struggling against this Hanzo Zarya strat so far.
Yeah, I like this composition. When there were inklings of it a long time ago, about what, 4 or 5 months ago, it was around the Reaper meta. But great hook coming out. That's going to be the kill onto Mafu, and now the 5v6. Never mind, make that a 5v5 as Hemsey actually finds a very similar hook here. Now Fraggy is going to be the recipient of that nano boost. What7 getting put to sleep there. They're going to be able to clean up that kill. Earthshatter comes on out though, coming out from Fraggy, and they will be able to get that kill onto Evoke, but I don't think they needed it.
Yeah, that definitely, it was really popular actually during that time, and the big reason why was because you had the Beyblade combo that was just very easy. You just use 2 ults and you basically secure a team fight victory, and then you'd have the ability to alternate with that. This particular set of ultimates right here, Graviton and Dragon Strike together. And the reason why it was so good is because you could just, again, alternate back and forth, and secure a lot of these fights. It was very, very successful here, and it's just, you aren't going to be seeing the same success because you don't have the Beyblade anymore, so they're not going to be able to alternate fights. They're not going to be able to just run through with a double ult. But looking at this, What7 coming through with a nice Earthshatter. They have the sound barrier up as well, but Evoke going to be taken down very, very quickly by Zappius there, who did actually wind up using his tack visor, but that's not going to be enough. And again, 3:15 on the clock here as Dignitas pushing forward. A couple more opportunities, really kind of one opportunity now for NIP to make a hold, and if they can do that, then they'll obviously have a couple more after that, but they need to make this one definitely last.
Yeah, Dragon Strike is going to come out from that Hanzo. No kills coming of it quite yet, but Toxian was able to get that kill onto Fraggy, and now they are pushing forward. Mafu in an actually really bad position. He does receive that nano boost, is able to stay alive and make it to the safety of his team. They're just going to try and reset this team fight, wait out for the respawns, but they are a little bit cornered here as Toxican is able to get that hook. Unfortunately, not the follow-up damage. Fraggy comes in with a 3-man Earthshatter. Linkster is down. He's on his back. Fraggy will be able to complete that kill, and they're forcing back the offense.
And really, you want Mafu to be able to get a lot of charge off this one, so they need to get aggressive, try to generate that Graviton Surge. He's jumping forward, is going to be able to find that ult charge that he was looking for, and now looking into the next one that's going to be competing Graviton Surges. Of course, Linkster getting pretty close to that Dragon Strike. They're going to have a little bit of an advantage, and of course on top of that, Toxican with Whole Hog coming up as well. They're going to have that kind of mirror going on with Hemsey potentially trying to create some distance as well. But if the Graviton comes out from Bromas and it's good, then it's going to be a big problem here for Dignitas. But the first one comes out from Mafu, and they already do find some kills inside of it, and that's a great job from them to be able to just secure that fight right there. They don't want to be trading here. That is not at all what they're looking for. But again, Bromas and Linkster should be able to find a nice team wipe going into this one. So at this point, what you want to see from Ninjas and Pyjamas is trying to get some high ground control, trying to kind of scatter out so they have a couple of options to stall once Bromas drops that Graviton there, because anybody that's going to be caught in that is going to die. I mean, they're just going to be dead. So really, you want to see them kind of scattering about a little bit here.
Graviton along with the Dragon coming out. Linkster getting 2 kills before he finally falls. It's going to be Zappas with that Nano Visor pushing forward for the defense here. Now they are on the point. Fraggy trying to swing onto What7. He's staying alive for now. Great heals coming out from Zappe, but the charge, and now he is out of line of sight here. 4 members currently on it as the sound barrier does come out on the side of Dignitas, and now they are getting closer and closer, trying to clean up Mafu. It's going to be What7 with that fire strike. Now Kinnel trying to keep it alive. There's no one here yet as the charge, the hook comes on in. Hemsey goes down, and that's going to be Dignitas completing out the map. They'll have a minute on their offense, but 11 seconds or so added on to the time of NIP.
Man, BM Toxican, man. Just deleting that Mei. I mean, even if she had survived that that quick whack from the left click, I mean, just would have been falling into oblivion. But nonetheless, great performance there by NIP at the very end to be able to make those last couple of holds. And now with a minute on the clock, Zappe is actually going to be on the Mei here. And I'm actually curious to find out if he's going to stick to this, because it's very, very probable that he will. And the reason being is that with the time allotted, he's going to be able to slow down these tanks a lot, because of the fact that it is going to be a ground game. He's going to have a lot of value as well with that Mei wall. So I actually do really, really like this pickup. As long as they don't give it away too quickly, they're going to be able to stall out very well. Again, it's only a minute on the clock, so they really only have to win 2 fights here. And if they can kind of secure that, and again, Mei very, very good at kind of creating advantages when you're running tanks, then this will be very good for them. And I actually think that they have a pretty good shot at making the hold here with this pickup, despite it being fairly unconventional in today's meta.
But take a look at Dignitas right now. Linkser is sitting on that Reaper, and it looks like they might be committing to it. Gates about to open up, and they are out the gates. Linkser is actually going to be using this Reaper.
I'm actually curious as to why they did that. I mean, obviously they think that it's going to be mostly tanks, but they get walled off, and we'll have to see who comes out ahead. What's 7 going to be eliminated here? Zupa getting down pretty low as well, so they're going to be able to make that trade. And now Toxican running forward, trying to establish some credibility or some value with his hook there. And we do see now the Lucio taking 2 kills here, as Zappe is able to find some good damage as well, slowing down the pace of this front line with that primary fire coming out from the Mei as well. And we do see the wall coming up pretty soon. Time ticking down pretty low, so they're going to get a lot of value out of this wall more than likely. As long as they can get an early pick here, this will be great for them. Himsy, of course, looking for an opportunity to try to get that hook going. What 7 going to get walled off, and they're just jumping forward at it.
But now he's charged a little bit out of position. Himsy is going to be the recipient of that biotic nade. Gets that kill onto Linkser before he finally goes down. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Make that a 3-for-2 trade as Mafu is able to get it. But here comes the Blizzard onto the point. Doesn't cover all of it as Toxican is able to land that sweet spot shot onto Zappis, taking him on down. Bromas is put to sleep here, but Toxican is still alive, dishing out the damage. Now he's onto Mafu. Mafu is getting healed up by Zappin. For now, Sound Barrier comes out from Dignitas just to make sure that they secure this fight, because they want to at least capture point A.
Man, I think they should have tried to get a little bit more value out of that Blizzard. They didn't really find anything, and it was a little late. I mean, obviously he threw it out when he had it, but if they would have been able to get onto the point with it, I think they would have been in a great position. Zappius died out, though, and that was just very, very unfortunate for NIP, because, I mean, obviously a lot of state potential there on the Mei, but now they're going to stick to this, and now they're going to try to contest on the archway, which is certainly good for the composition that they have, but they're going to have to be careful, because Linkser is now sneaking through the bar in the backline at the moment and does have that Death Blossom available, but Zapp is actually going to be able to find him out, so they know he's back there. Graviton coming out here, and he's in the backline with Nano Boost looking for an ability. Oh, and Earthshatter coming out, and they shut him down. Fraggy, what is this monster coming through here with the huge Earthshatter, as well as 3 kills, make it 4, and that's going to be Ninjas and Pyjamas closing out the defensive side. And now with 4:22 on the clock, they might be able to do this here.
Yeah, things are looking really good for NIP as they get their second chance at the offense. That Mei defense really working out for them, buying them a lot of time. That initial push, I mean, the wall, it didn't look great initially, but it was, I believe it was Linkser along with the Evoke who were actually caught out. And especially if you're trying to wrap around and through Hotel, you need that Lucio speed boost there. But they just got delayed for so long. Now take a look at where the payload is actually supposed to push to. That's not very far at all, Urix.
Yeah, not very far at all, but they still have to secure the first point, and that's obviously the main issue, is that they have to secure that one. Broma's actually going to be going over to the McCree, and he was a very, very strong performer on the last map of Lijiang Tower, but I mean, we haven't said his name at all so far here on King's Row. I don't think. I don't remember saying anything about Bromas at all, so we'll have to see if maybe the McCree is going to be the big difference maker for them here on the defensive side, as they have a lot of time that they have to deal with. And at the moment, we see Zappis actually on a Junkrat. He was on this before, but he did swap over to the Hanzo, and that is going to be the case as well. And that's going to be very, very strong. I did like the fact that they used this the last time for that combination with those two ults, and it is going to be the case. And we do see them going back over to the triple tank there as well. Himsy going back over to the Roadhog as expected, and as is customary for NIP. And now it is just going to be Zappius looking for these opening picks, and then if they can find it, they'll be able to take this first point pretty quickly.
Yep, Fraggy getting some free damage off with that Reinhardt. He's already at 30%. Great flashbang came out. Unfortunately, they weren't able to follow up with that damage there. Now Zappius struggling a little bit so far on this Hanzo. It's Zappe getting closer and closer to that nano boost. Probably going to go onto Fraggy as they charge forward here.
And now he's jumping in. Zappius able to find that kill, and now he's getting pretty high in that ult charges. Himsy takes the kill on Bromas, and that's going to be big as that gives a lot of room to work with for this Hanzo. And now he's at 86%. Baneless running in, trying to stall it out just a little bit, but that's not going to be the case. I mean, Ninjas and Pyjamas were all over him, swarming him like bats there, and now they have 330 to work with. So many options, and again, they have that Dragon Strike available. And there's nobody to even eat it up, but now Bromas actually going to swap over to that Pharah, try to make the most of the composition that NIP is having, and try to counter that one out, as Zappius not going to be able to take him out with ease. But I mean, Zappius is pretty good. You never know if he's going to be able to find that kill, or maybe Himsy is going to be able to shut him down. They still have the Ana as well, so they have a couple options, but still, I do like this comp swap actually coming out from Bromas here.
Earth Shatter coming up from Fraggy, lands onto Evoke, but Linkser with that Dragon Blade already finding 2 kills. They're starting to force back this offense right now, but Mafu trying his best to keep this alive. He is going to get Earth Shattered. Huge one coming out from What7, landing onto all the tanks on the side of NIP. Now What7 trying to clean up that Roadhog. Unfortunately, it's going to be Zappius swapping on over to that 76 on the cleanup duty. Here comes the nano boost onto Fraggy. He swings on. It's going to be Kindle that cleans up Toxic, and now there's no one here on the side of Dignitas. And NIP will be able to complete out King's Row.
The problem there with the swap from Bromas, while it was good while Zappius was on the Hanzo, it didn't really work out because of the fact that, given the fact that, you know, the attacking side has that huge advantage going into the spawns and getting back onto the point, all it took was Zappius to just make a swap over to Soldier, and they were going to be able to easily deal with them. Not only that, because it was trading back and forth, they were able to get back onto the point, get their reinforcements quicker, and they were just able to swing the momentum in their favor from that and that alone. And Fraggy here, in overtime, coming alive. This was on the defensive side where we saw him taking 3 kills, turning around, finding the 4th there onto the Lucio. And man, did he save the day for them there. Now tied 1-1 as we're looking for Dignitas to go ahead and pick the next map. We'll have to see what that's going to be. Obviously, they looked pretty strong on Lijiang Tower. They have a couple of options going into this next one. I mean, obviously the maps that are remaining here are going to be Nepal, Route 66, and Hanamura. And I have to imagine, I mean, they looked good on King of the Hill. I think that they're likely to go Nepal, but it's really kind of a toss-up. Obviously, any map where Ninjas and Pyjamas can kind of be on a payload and stuff, I'm very concerned for Dignitas, but it is going to be Nepal, so it is going to go in line with what I was expecting. Again, Dignitas just trying to make the most of the dive and trying to get Bromas on Tracer as often as possible, as I would do as well, and give opportunity for Toxican to basically make the most of the space created by What7 and Bromas there, and Linkser, again, just the ability to get onto the Genji as well definitely helps them. So we'll have to see. Ninjas and Pyjamas should do well on Sanctum, but otherwise it's definitely up in the air. I think Dignitas is stronger on the other 2 maps, so we'll have to see how this one goes.
Yeah, Linkser and What7, they were just such a potent combination there on Lijiang. So we're going to go ahead and give them the final ready up, and we'll go into map number 3 between Dignitas and Ninjas in Pyjamas here. But I really do favor Dignitas, especially after their performance on Lijiang there. So yeah, it's coming down to it. It's these lower bracket matches just so competitive at this point. A little bit of a different pacing set on King's Row there by Ninjas in Pyjamas. I think they won it pretty handedly, but now let's just reel back into it. We're just waiting on the final ready up coming up from Dignitas, and there we go. We've got it. We are in the match now, loading up the map, and it looks like we are going on over to, it's going to be Village for the first map here.
All right, starting things off here on Village, and Zappius actually on the Mei right now. It worked decently well for them on the defensive side. I mean, he came up a little bit short when he had his Blizzard, but otherwise still looked pretty solid. And I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did wind up pulling this out. The main scare would be a Pharah in the sky, but nonetheless, it is going to be Mafu on the Soldier, and Zappius actually making some swaps. I'm curious to see what he's actually going to wind up on. He could very well end up on a Tracer as well. That's another option. Could see him going over to a Pharah. I mean, there's a lot of options for him to flex to here because all of the cores are accounted for. Obviously, if he goes over to a Tracer, it'll be Selfless Comp, and then you have a couple of other options. You know, Mei is an option. I mean, Orisa is even an option in some cases. Orisa is an option here for establishing control on the point and then commanding high ground with the shields, given the fact that they already have Fraggy. But he is going to go over to the Mei here to start things off. And on the side of Dignitas, once again, going to be that dive. And that's going to be really rough for them because, you know, Bromas and Linkser have definitely contended very well so far. And Maywall already coming out, and they're going to get a little bit of control here on the high ground, starting things for Ninjas of Pyjamas.
Yeah. Linkser was caged just for a little bit there, but now he is into the action. Now already out of the action as Himsy lands that hook and that alternate fire just to finish him off, but already 3 kills going in favor of Dignitas here as they are just handedly cleaning this up. Zuppe getting hunted down by, what, 7? He will go down, and as the point unlocks, it's going to be Dignitas taking this first fight and the point.
I really like the style that Dignitas has come through with. I mean, with the 2-2-2 dive, utilizing what is basically the old dive style of using that Zarya just to have some extra support at your front line for what 7. That's very good because, you know, especially going up against NIP, you have to be very worried about what that Roadhog can do, and having that Zarya there to kind of shield out your Winston is very, very pivotal here. I think it's instrumental in their success so far against NIP, the fact that Toxican has been able to perform here. And they get that Discord as well onto Himsy, and they're just shutting him down. And that's the main purpose here. Shut down Himsy, and you won't have much of a problem for the rest of your flankers because it's basically just down to him hooking these flankers to be able to shut him down at all. So if they can shut him down, very good. We do see the flip happening for NIP, but nonetheless, it's going to be Dignitas winning that fight and getting control once again. And Dignitas now looking very, very poised to take this first map as they take a commanding lead here to start things off on Village.
Yep, so 40% on the board.
I just realized we weren't even in game. What a shame, man. What a shame.
I did that yesterday. But at least that match got postponed. But right now, Linkser jumping in with that Dragon Blade. It's going to be Fraggy, though. Getting the kill onto Vaneless, and now 2 members already shut down on the side of Dignitas as NIP start pushing forward. But they have to contend with what 7 with that Primal Rage. Bromas even coming in to get that kill onto Himsy. The Dignitas squad are going to be able to hold on as Bromas picking up a double kill at the end there. Now 66% on the board. On the side of NIP, they do have that Nano Visor to work with, but they're going to be running it into that Transcendence along with the Graviton Surge, so a great way to shut it down there on the side of Dignitas.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed our faces for that minute that we didn't have any gameplay on there, but now we got it back, and hopefully we see some good gameplay coming out here. But nonetheless, we will see Bromas coming out with the Pulse Bomb, already dropping it into that Graviton Surge, and he's jumping forward. Zappe is actually going to be eliminated as well. Dignitas, again, just destroying NIP. Mafu, for some reason, jumping through with that attack visor, and that's not actually going to do anything, as he was just trying to get onto the point and maybe take some kills, try to get control back. But that's going to be 1-0 in favor of Dignitas. And again, apologies for that overlay mistake there. That's completely on me. And now moving into the second map, it is going to be Sanctum here, and I think NIP is going to have a lot better of a shot on this particular map, but we'll have to see if they're able to take advantage of that 3 tank that typically does quite well here. And we do see it happening in turn for Dignitas as well, with Bromas actually on the Tracer as opposed to the Soldier that you typically see.
Yep, right now Bromas trolling, possibly. Or could actually pull it out here on Sanctum. That Junkrat can be pretty potent as the point unlocks, and he's actually going to go ahead and stick with it.
And he's going to... I don't know. I mean, he is going to be pushing this pretty solid damage out, but if Zappies actually pulls over to the side, they're going to have a nice angle to work with. And we'll have to see if this is actually going to make the difference for them. As the nice hook comes out there, onto Fraggy, and he's going to be eliminated. Linkser actually giving his team a lot to work with, as there's no shield left to work with, and Broma's going to be just surging forward with these grenades and finding a lot of damage for himself. I definitely like this startup here for Dignitas at the moment, and opened up by Linkser with that hook onto Fraggy.
But Himsy finds a hook of his own, taking out What7. The point hasn't been flipped on yet, and it's all Himsy now as they push forward on the side of NIP. They're the ones that are going to take control of the point first. Zapis will clean up Bromas there. Now, they really are lacking in that long-range damage. Be surprised to see if Bromas sticks with this, but no, immediately he does swap on over to that Soldier 76. All right, and so 20% already on the board for NIP. They're really working themselves into a huge advantage in terms of ultimates, especially with Bromas having swapped off. It's going to be a while before he can build that up. Now we do have the nano boost onto Fraggy. He does get hooked on in, but here comes the Graviton Surge. There's no follow-up coming up from NIP, and it's going to be all Dignitas on the kill feed as Evoke is able to get that boop onto Mafu. Hook comes out. Himsy, along with Kill, getting 2 environmental kills there, flipping it right on back. Now the tactical visor does come out from Zapis as they start pushing forward here. He hasn't found a kill quite yet, but he will force them to fall back a little bit as Evoke looking for a boop himself. Vaneless jumps onto the point with that Transcendence. Now Fraggy, though, has that Orb of Discord onto him, tries to go for that Earth Shatter, gets it onto Vaneless, but that's about it. Comes in with a charge, gets the kill onto Evoke, and now things are swinging in favor of NIP. Linkser once again with that hook onto Fraggy, but still it's all NIP at this point. 65% on the point.
And definitely Zapis looking pretty strong here. Very safe play from Dignitas there, but again, NIP very strong when it comes to these tank strats, and I think that's why we're seeing Sanctum go very much more in their favor. And given the fact that this is the second map, we could see it come out a second time, which will give NIP an opportunity, but that first map definitely looking very strong for Dignitas. We'll have to see if NIP can make the most of these next couple of fights. But now, actually, a good Earth Shatter saved, actually, though, by the sound barrier as Evoke gets pulled out. Fraggy should be eliminated here, so a 5v5 now on this point. Graviton coming out for Toxican. They might be able to make this wipe happen here. Toxican taken down pretty low by Mafu.
Ooh, Bromas just jumping onto the point in the nick of time there, and that final last little tick, but the majority of Dignitas getting cleaned up now by NIP. Bromas tries to use that tactical visor, but he will get cleaned up. That's going to be Kindle that picks up that kill. The point was flipped on over, but still overtime ticking out, and now there's no one even anywhere near the point, and that's going to be NIP taking it.
So now moving into this third map, I think Dignitas has a little bit of an advantage on this next one. On Shrine, but again, it could go either way here, as Shrine again very defensible. We'll have to see. I mean, if NIP somehow comes out ahead on the first fight, they have a pretty good shot at actually holding out to get some good percentage, and then they would just have to battle back later if they do wind up losing control. But if Dignitas takes it early on, I think that they're going to be in a very, very strong position, very, very likely to be able to take this map and be 2-1 on the set. So I think that'll be the case. We'll have to see who gets this first one, though.
All right, so now we are, like you said, moving on to Shrine here. We're starting to see the dive come out once again. Linkser on that Genji. He was a really potent combo with What7. Their target selection was fantastic.
Now Broma's looking for an opportunity here on the Tracer, trying to start things off. Overall, nothing happening all too quickly, but Zapis already with the kill onto Vaneless, and now NIP establishing control early on, finding 3 kills to start off. Evoke going to be taken out, and now it's just Linkser that they have to deal with, but Bromas on the point as well, and it's just these 2 DPS players from Dignitas, and they're going to be backed off. And again, we talked about how if NIP can somehow steal away this first point, they're going to have a decent shot actually getting back into this one, and they will be able to deal with Linkser as he's out of position completely, but he's going to somehow save his own life. And now 15% for NIP, looking to hold out on this one. Again, a very strong point to defend here, and they're going to look to try to get as much as they can out of it.
Now here comes the dive out from Dignitas right now, but a great charge from Fraggy onto Evoke. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade, still in favor of NIP. They're going to push forward. It's going to be Mafu with that nano boost. He's starting to whittle away at the rest of Dignitas right now. We've even got Linkster put to sleep here. Himsy going to come in with that hook to finish him off. And they're in great shape so far on the side of NIP. 40% already on the board. There isn't much to work with on the side of Dignitas as they push forward for this next retake. Linkster does have that Dragon Blade to work with though, Hurix.
Definitely looking for this to be a big opportunity for them, but he's going to be doing it into a sound barrier here that NIP is going to be able to pull out. So we were very likely to see that come out. He does get almost everybody with it, but not Fraggy. And that was someone that they really wanted to have here because Fraggy was going to be able to get his Earth Shatter pretty soon, and that would have been big to shut them down. But nonetheless, Sleep Dart comes out. That does the same effect, and with Himsy coming through, finds that kill. Broma still trying to combat. Zapis does find that kill, but still, Ninjas in Pyjamas on this point with a lot of control should be able to take Vaneless out as well, and now one fight away from potentially being able to take this map away from Dignitas here.
Still though, at this point, that was a great effort coming out from Bayless. He was in a 4v1. They were trying to stall him for as long as possible, but at least he was able to get the kill onto Kittle. But now, huge power advantage in favor of NIP. They've got the Graviton, they've got the whole hog, along with the Earth Shatter to work with. All the CC ult coming online right now as What7 does jump on in. He's able to block that, but here comes the Graviton Surge. The Biotic Nade lands onto them. They're right in the middle of the meat grinder. Himsy coming in. Double kill comes out. Bromas did swap off onto Reaper there, but he's not going to be long for this world as his Shadow Step is gone now, and they're going to be able to clean up NIP, taking the second point here.
And now we have moved on into the repeated maps here. And if Sanctum comes out, Ninjas in Pyjamas will be in a very good spot here because they did very well the first time. Again, they're just... I would have given them the favor to begin with anyways, but given their performance on that first round going through, it is going to be Village actually coming out, and I'm very happy to present Village for the first time to the stream, as we didn't get to see too much of it the last time, but this time we will be able to show that here. But last time we saw, obviously, Dignitas dominating there, but things have turned around a little bit. Zap is actually making a lot of plays here for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and I think, honestly, he's been a big reason as to why him and Himsy, I think, have been making a lot of plays for this squad to be able to get back into this one. And now carrying momentum off of taking a map very convincingly there on Shrine, as well as Sanctum. They're coming back here with 2 maps in a row. I like this composition here without the Mei.
What7, Linkster already jumping on in. We've got that Biotic Nade forcing Linkster back, though. He has to be careful as Fraggy is trying to get on the hunt for him, but he will be able to survive. What7 getting the initial frag onto Himsy, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. But Zuppe now able to get that kill onto Linkster. It's still going back and forth, but I think the initiative is in favor of Dignitas as they're able to get that next kill onto Zapis. Now Mafu in a 2v1, and the backline has to be careful, but mostly Toxic here coming up with these huge kills with the help of Bromas, and that's going to be Dignitas once again getting control of the point first.
Bromas has been actually nutty on the Tracer, man. He's been insane so far, and we've been seeing him contest with a lot of these guys here, Zapis being one of them, and not only that, but being able to shut down the supports as well. He's been very effective here on the Tracer so far for Dignitas, and when he's gotten the spacing to work with, he's definitely put up a performance. And now getting into a little bit of duel, has an advantage because of the Harmony Orb that's placed on him there by Vaneless, but now looking for an opportunity with this Pulse Bomb. Going to be going forward. Should be able to get the stick. Does indeed onto Fraggy, but that's not going to find anything. He does find the kill actually onto the Lucio as the charge comes through.
Yeah, Sound Barrier did come out on the side of Dignitas, and once again, Vaneless on this. Zenyatta doing so much work before he finally does get taken out by Fraggy, but Bromas and all the rest of the DPS still alive. You're cleaning up Mafu, 45% already on the board. And we're seeing some swap-offs coming out on the side of NIP, Hurix.
And we'll see them bringing actually Himsy out onto that Diva. And that's interesting. I mean, obviously he's been very solid on the Roadhog, but really, I mean, it's not kind of working out at the moment, and maybe Diva is what they need to be able to create the space there and kind of shield out Zupe as well as the Lucio there. But nonetheless, we will see Dignitas trying to get some control here. Fraggy with an Earth Shatter unleashed and not going to be able to find too much, as we do see Vaneless coming out with the Transcendence, and Zappis coming through with a nice set of kills. Bromas with the Pulse Bomb, looking to come back into this one and return fire here, but Linkser with the Dragon Blade able to contest that pretty well, and Zupe getting sent back. Dignitas looking to kind of close this one out, then they should be able to do just that. 90% on the board for them. It's going to turn into a staggered fight here, as Fraggy going to be jumping on the point more than likely. Has his shield up, but not going to be able to do much against the flankers, and that should be this ticking down. Zappi's going to be jumping onto the point just to tick overtime, going to be eliminated, and that will be eventually overtime, ticking out, and Dignitas taking this, tying it up 2-2. And again, this is 1-1, winner of this next map, and this is literally a roll on the next map. If it's Sanctum, Ninjas in Pyjamas have a very, very good chance of taking this. If it's Shrine, then it could go 50-50. It really comes down to who's able to take that point first to have that really steady hand, but nonetheless, it is going to be Sanctum, and now Dignitas have to battle through arguably Ninjas in Pyjamas' best map on Nepal that they already dominated on to be able to get this one rolling. Now, granted, they do have Bromas on the Soldier here. I mean, they did quite well with the Junkrat before, but it wasn't really because of the Junkrat. It was actually because Linkser set up everything nicely with a kill onto Fraggy, sending him down into the pits to be able to create that momentum starting things off. But after that, it was all NIP. We'll have to see what happens here with Bromas starting things off on the Soldier. It's going to be a lot more consistent DPS, and also that Tact Visor is going to be very lethal as well. So maybe Dignitas has a better shot here with this composition swap.
Yeah, largely mirrored compositions, as both teams are going to go ahead and meet on a high ground ledge, but Vaneless is on that Zenyatta, might give him that extra little bit of damage. Hook came out, unfortunately wasn't able to connect with that kill, and Vaneless getting that kill onto Fraggy. That's both Reinhardt's down. Now Hook comes out from Linkser, and unfortunately he's not able to finish off these kills. It's going to be Mafu that actually finishes him off. Mafu getting a second kill now, and everything going in favor of NIP, as Toxkin does finally answer on back, but it is NIP on the point right now.
And a little Zarya battle, and it is actually saved there by Zupe, and he does manage to come over. Graviton ready for Mafu, as he got a lot of energy in the last one. Toxic pretty close himself as well, but they should be able to win out this second fight pretty easily here. We see Zappis trying to get his Tac Visor up so they can use that ult together, and I imagine they just want to use the Graviton solo here, but we do see actually Fraggy getting boosted up, and they find 2 kills inside of the Graviton. Not going to find anything more after that, but they do eventually clean this up, and it is going to be Toxkin pulling away with his life. So they wind up using 2 ults there, Jamerson, both Zupe and Mafu, on the Ana and the Zarya respectively, but they still have a lot of options going into the next one. They have 4 ults either up or coming up very shortly, should have them in the next fight. Granted, a lot of options here for Dignitas to retake with, Vaneless of course being a very pivotal one with that Transcendence coming alive as well.
The Earth Shatter came on out, but it was not that impactful. But the hook does come in from Himsy. He takes out Evoke. Here's the Transcendence on the side of Dignitas, as they will be able to flip on the point. Mafu, though, is going to get pushed back down the ledge. Linkser got hooked in, but unfortunately, they were not able to get that fall kill onto him. Linkser coming up huge with this hog now. 3 kills going on over in favor of Dignitas. 12% on the board, but it's going to be a very difficult fight here. Toxkin does have that Graviton Surge to work with, but if Zappis can get a nice flank there with that Soldier, he might be able to save this fight. Already Bromas in the position, try and cut off anyone trying to get this flank, and he might actually catch out Zappis.
Zappis taken down pretty low there, but does manage to get his heal up. And now we will see Hemsy trying to push forward. Tac Visors ready for both sides. Nano Boost ready. Actually, or sorry, Nano Boost coming soon, but Zappis just going to pull out his Tac Visor without it, as What 7 actually kills off Mafu, so really NIP wind up wasting that. And a big hook from Linkser there, and they are surely going to be able to even out the odds here, as they're coming back into this one. NIP unable to get that retake going for themselves. And Linkser with a huge play to eliminate Hemsy there. Again, both teams with a lot of options here. Zappis, unfortunately, did just use that Tac Visor to actually no effect at all. And Bromas now just waiting out a little bit of time to try to get a little bit of a flank. He does manage to see Zappis in the back. Discord going out on him as well.
Graviton onto 3 in the back line. Himsy's going to go ahead and use that whole hog to push everyone back, but already 2 kills going out in favor of Dignitas. Here comes the hook. It does get broken. Transcendence popped by Vaneless as they push forward on the side of Dignitas. Now 80% on the board, and they're looking to try and hold them here at the choke point. Now we do have NIP returning on out. They're able to push on out finally onto the ledge, but Hook comes out. Linkstar once again with the kill onto him. The Graviton Surge is starting to count for some kills. Mafu coming in with a 3K as Evoke is able to finish off Mafu, but still, Bromas now with that tactical visor, going to keep it alive so far for Dignitas. It's in overtime, 99%. It's ticking down as Zappis try to get onto the point, but it's going to be Dignitas to walk away with it. It came down to the final map here, but they'll be moving on here in the lower bracket.
Man, Dignitas on what is, again, arguably Ninjas of Pyjamas' best map after NIP take it. I mean, it's said in the chat by Gravity there, our admin. What a series. What a series indeed. But we will see Dignitas coming through, and again, in large part due to Bromas and Lynx are there. A lot of great plays from those guys. Really, really good play from the teams across the board, but, you know, definitely looking at those two guys in particular, who definitely came through and made a lot of great plays for the team. Toxican came through as well, but that's going to be, again, 2-1 now as Dignitas take it over NIP, sending NIP home. And a lot of people talked about it, and I actually kind of agreed with them that, you know, I thought NIP was probably, you know, maybe the third team or something like that in this tournament, but now being taken out here as we look at the standings, Dignitas moving forward to take on Misfits in our next but last match, actually, of the day at least, with Dignitas able to take it. And, I mean, Dignitas was a team that I kind of considered right behind NIP, but able to take it in a very thrilling series. Now going to be given the opportunity to try to take on Misfits, who, I mean, over the past couple of games and playoff series, Misfits has not looked that great on King of the Hill until earlier today against Singularity, where they were able to win out on Nepal. Now, Dignitas with a pretty good opportunity to try to take it to as many King of the Hill maps as possible, and if they can manage that, they might have a shot here. But Misfits, with their new dive strategy, definitely looking a lot more efficient since taking on E United and getting handled by it. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in the next matchup. Again, that is going to be happening in just a moment here. We're just going to try to get Misfits in the lobby, and as soon as that happens, we will be ready to go. Again, this is going to be myself, CT Hurix, and Jetset Jamerson. We have one game left today. Again, Misfits versus Team Dignitas. Do not go anywhere. We're going to have that right after this short break.